Hey, everybody. So, I don't know if anybody will listen to this, but I had promised on my calendar that I was going to do a live stream from California today. So, I wanted to make sure that I did it. You have to excuse, I don't have the same kind of audio and lighting that I might normally have, but doing the best we can here. So, I thought I'd just tell you about this amazing trip that I've taken to LA. I am in the final weekend. So what happened is we had Christmas Con in Pasadena going to be happening the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then we had the HCA TV Awards, which I'm a member of, the Hollywood Critics Association, the 12th, the 13th, 14th, and 14th. And so I wanted to do both, but it didn't make sense to go home in between both. So I decided to make it this epic trip, this 10-day trip. Hi, Jonathan. So yeah, it's been amazing so far. Had so much happen. So I'm really excited. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer about anything, then this can just be a fun kind of casual experience. So we started out Friday night. It was kind of stressful because there was all different kinds of delays. I'm not sure what the problem was on Friday, but it seemed pretty much everywhere in the country. All my friends who were traveling had delays. And so I wasn't able to make it for the movie premiere that they had at the con. And so that was a bit of a bummer, but I'll still be able to see it in just a couple of weeks. It's called Groundswell. I did read the book, and I'm going to be interviewing, assuming everything goes well, on Tuesday. I'm going to be interviewing Katie Lee from Food Network, who wrote the book. So that's kind of exciting and fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of hers. And anyway, I missed the screening though, but Anne got to go, and it was so much fun to get to meet Anne and Megan, two of the co-hosts for Hallmarkies podcast. We spend so much time together. We know each other so well, but most of us haven't met each other, which is just kind of funny. I'd only met Jax and Amy before that have worked on the podcast, and so it was really fun to get to know, spend time with them, and they're just the best, and I'm so grateful for them. I could not have done the con coverage without them. And people ask me about the con, but I really don't feel like I attended the con, kind of, because I only went to one panel and visited a couple of booths. I was behind the scenes almost the whole time, getting interviews and I had my podcast equipment set up, ready to go to talk to people. So it's kind of a different experience for me than maybe other people who actually attended the con. And so Saturday morning was the big event, and they told us that we were going to cover the red carpet, but I really didn't know kind of what that would mean. And so we kind of were just there, and it turned out that they had us in between a Hallmarkies podcast, in between E! News and People Magazine, which was very surreal. And so Anne and Megan did all the videography and photography, and I did the interviews, and we interviewed. It was about 2 hours of red carpet. It was about 10:30 when we were done, and we interviewed over 20 people, stars from Hallmark, like Lacey Chabert was there, and Jonathan Bennett, and I don't know, just a lot of people that if you're in the Hallmark world, you know who they are. Paul Campbell. And it was fun because a lot of people we developed relationships with on the podcast. We've had them on many times, like Paul Campbell or Nikki DeLoach. And so it was fun to actually meet them in person for the first time. And it was just cool to be sort of recognized as a journalist, with these other outlets. That was a very surreal and really cool experience. And I edited together a video over Hallmarkies podcast with a bunch of different answers to the first question that I asked almost everybody. I'm really proud of that video. It took me a long time to edit. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out, it's only 5 minutes. And it's really fun, and so check that out. So I see I got some questions. Jonathan says, I guess my question is, what did you think about the weather? It's been really, really, really hot, but fortunately, most of the time I've been inside, so it hasn't been, too big of a problem. So I mean, today, like at Universal Studios, that was pretty hot, but they were really good about keeping us hydrated, so it hasn't been too much of a problem. And the Airbnb that I'm staying at has a pool, so that's nice. Um, let's see, how's California so far, KCast? It's been amazing. I mean, I'm only telling you one little tiny part was the Christmas con, and there's more. Um, let's see. I know what you mean. I got to meet a lot of online friends for the first time in person this year, and it's one of the best feelings in the world. Yeah, it really is so much fun. I can't wait to meet even more at D23. I get to see Jonathan again, I think, at D23. So that's going to be fun. Just lots of friends. If any of you are going to D23, let me know, because I'm definitely going to be there. All right. So then, like I said, I spent the rest of the con, aside from one panel that I went to, like behind the scenes. I didn't even meet Ruth, who's one of my good friends. I felt so bad after. Everything just got so crazy, and I didn't see her. But anyway, yeah, Jonathan will be at D23. I will be at D23. I hope it seems like they've got it better organized this time. So hopefully it will be a better experience than last time. We'll see. But anyway, so those were those days. It was just really fun hanging out with Anne and Megan, and covering the con and interviewing everybody. And like I said, please check out that video over at Hallmarkies Podcast. I put a link in the community section on Rachel's reviews too. It's one of the best videos I've ever made. So take a look. Is this the first D23 since COVID? Yeah, it is. The last one, because they only do them every 2 years. So they did one in 2019. So the next one coming up was 2021, and then it was delayed. So this is the first one that they've done. All right. So then Sunday, Megan and I had planned, because I really wanted to go to the beach. So Megan and I had planned to go up to Ventura for just a day. She was leaving on Tuesday, so we were going to get there on Sunday, and then we were going to go on be at the beach until Tuesday. We got to our hotel, and it was kind of a dump. Like the pictures weren't accurate to the hotel, but we're like, it's okay. We'll be at the beach all day. It doesn't matter. So we get to the beach the next day, and I get down in the water, and all of a sudden I feel something impale me, spear me. And I'm like, oh, what happened? So I go up, and my foot is just bleeding, like profusely bleeding. And I'm like, I've been bitten. And so then Megan ran and got the lifeguard Ty, and he drove. And it turned out I was speared by a stingray, and the venom was like puffing everything. Like I said, it was just bleeding and bleeding. It was crazy. I don't know. It was very surreal. And I mean, I've been to oceans all over the world. I've been in Italy, in Spain, Hawaii, Jersey Shore, and I have never been bitten by anything before. This was the first time, and so so we were like, and so they had to soak. I guess the only thing you can do for a stingray sting is to soak it in very hot water, almost boiling hot water. And so they have hot water there, the lifeguards do, and then they have this kind of bag that's like a emergency blanket, like those tinfoil emergency blankets. And so I had to soak my foot in there. And then we were just kind of like, there's no way we're going back to that dumpy hotel all day. And whether it was even like clean enough, I don't know. And so they said they wouldn't charge us, so we left. And I was like, this is just going downhill. We need to save this. And so I Googled nice hotels in Santa Barbara, and I found this Ritz Carlton Santa Barbara. And I called them and I said, explain the situation. And I said that we just really needed a place, and with my AAA membership, I was able to get a pretty good deal on the place, and it was just worth it to have a nice place to heal and everything. And we got there, and it was heaven. It is the most beautiful place. Is the Ritz Carlton Santa Barbara. I'm definitely going back. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, I spent about 4 hours soaking my foot in a dustbin. I put hot water in the dustbin at the Santa Barbara. And they were so good to us and so kind. Let us check in early. It was a crazy, crazy experience to go, like, just the highs and lows in one day, to go from this dumpy place to getting stung to, I mean, it hurt so bad. My whole foot was just throbbing, and then end up in this, like, just beautiful place. And I don't know, it was just a wild day. And by about like 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it felt like it had turned a corner and was starting and didn't hurt as bad. So we kind of went down by the pool and just relaxed. And then the next day, and we ordered room service. It was very, very deluxe, but it was great. So, let's see here. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Jonathan says, I'll be staying at a hostel this time. It has free breakfast. Cool. Great. Yeah. That's great. I'll also be heading to San Francisco next weekend for the first time ever. It's a family trip. Cool. Yeah, that'll be great. I love San Francisco. I've been there many, many, many times. So I hope you have a great trip. My grandparents used to live in the Bay Area, so I've been there a lot of times. But then the next day we were able to stay until 12:30. So we got a ton of time at the pool, and it was just like a gorgeous place. I can't overstate how beautiful this resort is. It is so nice. And then we went to Santa Barbara for the afternoon, and it is a beautiful town. And it was really fun because my niece is going to UC Santa Barbara. She's starting a freshman. So it was kind of fun to, like, tell her. I told her, like, we went to this taco place and it's a great place. And so that was fun. Let's see. Any potential announcements you're looking forward to at D23? I'm actually not really. I feel like I'm out of the loop of kind of what's going to be announced. And they announced so much at Comic-Con that kind of surprised me. I didn't expect them to do all of phase 5 and phase 6, or almost all of it at least. So that surprised me. I mean, I'm definitely most excited for the animation panel, but there's not like a specific announcement that I'm waiting for. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Strange World and the Elemental, the Pixar next year. And I don't know, I'm open to whatever they have to send me. I'm not really anticipating anything in particular. I mean, my most excited thing is for the Muppet Christmas Carol panel. That looks, and hopefully it's happening. It's not on the schedule, but they were just tweeting about it, so I think so. But yeah, I mean, the animation panel and the Muppet Christmas Carol panel, those are the two that I most want to get. They'll be at the highest spot of my list, because they're having you order your reservations in preference order on Monday, and then we'll see what we end up getting. But those are definitely gonna be my top two, and then everything else is I still have to kind of figure out what my order is going to be. But yeah, there's not like a specific announcement that I'm looking forward to. I don't know. But anyway, and so after we went to Santa Barbara, I came down and and Megan left, and then I came down to Burbank for to this cute little Airbnb that is great. It's perfect. My friend Patrick's going to be joining, and it's got a Jack and Jill bathroom and then 2 rooms, and so he's going to have the other room for the weekend, and then I have this one, and it's really and then nice big pool. Only 165 a night. It's a great deal. I love it. I think it's perfect for our needs. So then yesterday I met up with I had lunch with Dory, my podcast friend. So that's always really fun to get together with her. And then I went and saw ET at the I worked on my video that I told you about, that video, and then I went and saw ET with a bunch of my critic friends, and that was really really fun on the IMAX. It just holds up so well, that movie. I got emotional. I really enjoyed spending time with my critic friends, and also I went to this ramen place and had the most delicious ramen I've ever had. It was so good. Called Silver Lake Ramen. If any of you are in the Burbank area, it's like a pop-up. So I thought it was absolutely delicious. So that was good. And then today I went to Universal Studios. I decided to do the VIP experience because I was only going to be there one day, and I can't like stand in the super long lines the way that other people can without being in a lot of pain. And so I knew that it would help me a lot to have a better experience, and it was definitely worth it. I think for you get a more intimate tour, you get to get out of the trolley more than the regular studio tour, and then you get express access to all of the rides that you want. And we did a whole bunch. I got to go to Harry Potter Land, Wizarding World. I went on the Mummy ride, that ride is wild. That's a scary ride. I mean, it is dark for the whole thing, and then you're going backwards. It was intense. And then, the Jurassic World ride is great. I thought that was so much fun with the dinosaur coming at you at the end, and I got pretty wet, but I was so hot that it felt good to get wet. And they gave us ponchos I could have worn, but I was so hot that I kind of wanted to get wet. But it was great. I mean, the only, I guess, negative was that the big Harry Potter ride I couldn't ride. It was my bust was too big, and they tried to putting it over, and it clicked twice, but it didn't get that third click. But they were super respectful and kind about it. I didn't feel weird, or I was anxious about it because I knew that was probably what was going to happen. I'd heard enough, but I was grateful that it was handled so well, and I didn't feel ostracized or excluded. I mean, it was a bummer, but I still appreciated getting to go on the queue. So I knew going into it that would probably happen, so I think that helped. But yeah, I mean, that was the only negative. Otherwise, our tour guide was really great. The lunch was delicious. It was really quality. It wasn't just some bad buffet. It was a yummy buffet. You got all the water that you wanted. So I thought I was very pleased. So let's see here. ET is timeless for me. Also, remember I met Steven Spielberg. Good times, good times. Yeah, that is good times. Yeah, it really is timeless. It holds up. It's still very emotional. And I was particularly cognizant this time of some of the smaller performances from not just Henry Thomas, who's so good, but some of the other child performances are also excellent. I mean, his older brother, I think he's actually you get a real story arc from him in there. He's great. Of course, Drew Barrymore's great. It's so funny. It's so sweet. It's got so much heart. It's magical. Sorry, I just want to make sure. I thought I heard My friend Patrick is coming. Okay. So I did try butterbeer. I mean, they are making a killing off that. I mean, it's just soda and it's $8. Woo! Brutal. The Secret Life of Pets ride was absolutely great, better than the movies. That was one of the only rides we didn't do on the tour. But yeah, we did. We did Kung Fu Panda, which she probably should have done Secret Life of Pets, but that's all right. I'll leave something for the next time. But I would highly recommend the tour. I thought it was well worth it. There's no way I would have been able to do so much on my own without it, and I would have been in a lot more pain. So to me, it was well worth it, especially with how good the lunch was. So yeah, it was a great day. I mean, I'd never been to Universal Studios before, so that was a lot of fun to finally kind of check that off my parks bucket list. And I mean, it has some definite. I mean, the studio tour was so good, so interesting. The guides were well informed, and I mean, it has some definite pluses over Disneyland there for sure. I mean, and the City Walk, Universal City Walk, is way better than Downtown Disney. I mean, in my opinion. But I don't know, it's different. It's just a different experience than Disneyland. But I'm excited. I'm going to the Oogie Boogie Bash, D23. So that will be fun. I mean, I'm going to be exhausted, but hopefully I will be able to still have fun. Let's see here. They just added the Nope production set on the tour. It's been a while since I've been to Universal. Yeah, they did. We walked through the Nope Claim Jumper, I think is what it's called, tour. So that was fun. There's just, yeah, City Walk is just way bigger. It has way more to do. I agree with you, Jonathan. So yeah, so it was a great day. And I came back and I got a swim. That's why my hair's wet. So then tomorrow, actually in the morning, I'm doing the Warner Brothers tour, which should be really fun. And then my friend Marissa, who I saw at Christmas Con, but anyway, she's joining me for the first night of the HCA Awards, HCA TV Awards. And I'm going to be a little bit out of my comfort zone with HCA TV Awards because I'm more of a movie person than a TV person, but it'll still be fun. And I'm actually going to be presenting. It's a 2-night event. And I'm going to be presenting on Sunday with my friend Patrick, who's sharing the Airbnb with me. So that should be a lot of fun. I'll look for it. I think I'm actually presenting for Best Animated Series. So that will be good. I think hopefully Arcane will win because it deserves it. It's so good. If you haven't seen Arcane, you should on Netflix. It's really good. Oh, good. You say Jonathan says, I love the Warner Brothers here. Love the WB tour so much. Oh, great. That's great to hear. How do you know, Jonathan, do you remember how long your tour was at Warner Brothers? I was just wondering that today. But so I have that tomorrow. And like I said, Sunday is the second day of the HCA TV awards, and then I leave on Monday. So it's what a trip. I mean, can you believe it? That is a lot going on, but it's been very memorable, very fun. I hope you've been following along the hashtag Rachel Cali Trip 2020 to see both on Instagram and on Twitter. You can see all of my photos and thoughts about everything. I hope everybody's enjoyed that. About 2 to 3 hours long. Okay, good. Yeah, so we're doing that tomorrow. That should be really fun, especially combined with doing Universal yesterday. And yeah, so that's basically everything I have. I did reviews for Bullet Train. So I don't know if y'all read that. That was just too ridiculous for me. I can see why people are having fun with it, but I don't know. It was just ludicrous, and so many characters to keep track of. It wasn't for me. But my favorite movie right now that's out is Marcel the Shell. I love that. I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast that Stanford and I did on it. That was really fun to talk about it. We had a great female film critics panel this week. I hope y'all watched that. Cell Specs, I've loved her videos for so long on animation. So that was really fun to get to talk with her and Karen Peterson. I thought it was a real good back and forth between the three of us. So I highly recommend that. Next week, we have coming up, I have my review of Murphy's Romance, which is a patron pick. So you all want to check out the Patreon. And that was fun I'd never heard of this movie. And so that was fun to watch it. And then we have next Wednesday is our first Lord of the Rings podcast with my friend Oscar and my friend Jen. And Jen had never seen the movies before. So that was really fun to get like the fresh perspective and the experience perspective. So that's coming up next Wednesday, the Lord of the Rings episode on A Fellowship of the Ring. So let's see here. Yeah. Oh, Jonathan, we'll definitely have to connect to D23 for sure. Let's see here. I'm so sick of Bullet Train simply because the trailer plays during every commercial on Hulu lately. Yeah, I've thought about that a lot. That because Disney Plus is now adding an ad service, and I really wouldn't mind seeing the ads, but do they have to be the same ads? I mean, that's true with Tubi and other ad content. Is the same ones over and over again. You think they could at least make some variety? So I'm with you there. Let's see here. Because I've been binging Only Murders in the Building lately. I've seen those promos a lot. Yeah. Why did they do that? I mean, it just makes it unpleasant, but I'm with you there. But so I saw Bullet Train. It wasn't for me. And then also, like I said, Marcel the Shell. I love that. It's delightful. It's so good, warm-hearted, sweet. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's really good. And then coming up later this month on the 24th is our next Talking Disney content creator ranking, and YouTuber Jim Gisrel is on, and it's really a fun one. Y'all are gonna love that one. He's so fun. So that's kind of what's going on with me, and I appreciate if y'all have any more questions, put them in now. And we have on Hallmarkies podcast, we have a special on Monday, special episode where my original co-host Amber and I celebrate 5 years of the podcast. So that's a lot of fun, and we do a new top 12 Hallmark Christmas movie list, which was the first episode we ever did. So that's a very special episode of the podcast. You don't want to miss that one. And then on Wednesday, Marissa, who's coming to the HCA with me, we did a new episode on the new Father of the Bride because we'd already ranked the other 4 movies, and so now we have this 5th one, the new one. So that's really fun, and we have Heartland and Sex and the City recaps, and it's going to be a good week there. So make sure you're subscribed to Hallmarkies podcast, and yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say. Hope you're all doing well, and thanks so much for the support. And like I said, check out the Patreon. I would really appreciate it. And we'll talk again later. I'll let you know how everything goes with the HCA Awards. But it's been a blessed trip so far. So, all right. We'll talk to you all later.